The momentary squeeze of Kate Forbes' arm by Nicola Sturgeon last Thursday was more than a mere sisterly token of support. There was a measure of pride in it, of course, and appreciation, but something that also hinted of gratitude. Ms Forbes had just flawlessly delivered the Scottish Government's budget, despite having had barely a day's notice of her move from the wings to the centre stage. She is the first woman to have delivered the budget since the Scottish Parliament reconvened in 1999. The resignation 24 hours earlier of her boss, Derek Mackay, in the most distressing circumstances had shaken the government to its core, but Ms Forbes' assured performance had taken the heat off for the time being. Nothing in this young woman's previous achievements suggested that she wouldn't have performed the biggest task of her career with elan. Educated at a Gaelic-medium school in the Highlands, she later graduated from Oxford University before becoming an MSP at the age of 24 for Skye, Lochaber and Badenoch. In 2018 she delivered an entire speech in Gaelic as Parliament debated the future of Scotland's ancient tongue. If she gets the government's budget through Parliament, she will surely become Scotland's next finance minister. The prospect of this, though, has angered that tiny but disproportionately influential faction within the SNP who have been given free rein to target women whom they consider to be anti-trans bigots. Ms Forbes is also a professing Christian, and this too must be entered into her debit ledger. You can be anything you want, it seems, in the SNP, but Christians need to watch their step as their views about equality are questionable. Josh Mennie, who sits on the SNP's National Executive Committee, said that the prospect of Ms Forbes being promoted was the last thing our party needs and cited her faith. Mr Mennie is also co-convener of a group called Out for Indy, an organisation that several senior SNP politicians have described as sinister owing to the way some of its members have targeted politicians urging caution in the Scottish Government's draft Gender Recognition Act reform bill. Mr Mennie's tweet, since deleted, was mild in comparison with the torrent of abuse, much of it violent in nature, which has been directed at other female SNP politicians. Joan McAlpine, who chairs Holyrood's Culture, Tourism, Europe and External Affairs Committee, has become a hate figure for expressing caution around GRA reforms and for seeking to explain why her committee chose not to change the sex question in the next census to include a non-binary option. In a reasonable compromise, her committee agreed that there could be a voluntary question on gender identification for people who want to identify as trans and non-binary. Afterwards, in a series of tweets, Ms McAlpine explained her thinking. She opposed. For more on this story, visit the news article link.